Well, ladies and gentlemen, the music, that magnificent music's for the World Championship Campdraft. To tell us about the World Championship Campdraft as the cattle come in, we'll cross down to this magnificent stadium to Jim Callanan. Thanks, James.
Good afternoon, Angus, and to you too, Tim. So yes, we move into round 4 of the Tyrrell's World Championship Campdraft. And things are starting to get very interesting as we go to the halfway mark of this wonderful series. And the official leader is Nigel Cable with Chevron Ivory on 8 points. Troy Palmer with Benny Impressive Destiny on 5. Glenn Peterson with Gibbs Witness on 4.5. Then we have Laurie Argue on Carmelina, Gavin White on Vegas, and Alan Young on Acres Liberty Bow on 3 points. So they are the 6 competitors that are got all the points up on the board going into round 4.
So, Jimmy, tonight I think Cliff Lyons is going to be our first competitor. Is that correct?
That's right, Angus. It'll be Cliff Lyon from Long Flat riding a Australian stock horse mare called Have a Go Ugly Betty. And once again, we've got this magnificent line of the Angus Cross steers, and we are indebted to the Elliston Pastoral Company. Many, many thanks to the Packer family and Robert Teague, Scott Mitchell and staff at Elliston. There was champagne camp drafting yesterday afternoon in round 3, and let's hope it's the same in round 4.
Now tell me, Jimmy Callanan, if people enjoy a nice glass of wine, what's the best wine that they could possibly look for when they go shopping?
Oh, Angus, that's a hard one, but I always drink Tyrrell's.
Tyrrell's wines, right?
That's right.
And Jim, we have 2 judges here judging this year.
That's right, 2 judges, and our judges are Dean Taylor from Murrundi, New South Wales, and Stephen Wells from Gundawindi in Queensland. So with the 2 judges, we have in the cattle camp, there's a possible score of 26 points. So if one judge gives 21 points and the other judge gives 22, well, it'll be 21.5. Left-hand course, by the look of things tonight, they get 2 points for the first peg, 1 point for the second peg taken on the right, and then the 2 pegs that are close together out in the spotless arena, that's what we refer to as the gate, and they get another point for that, for what we call the gate. So that is a total of 4 points for the course. The 70 points is for horse work, and that is the speed of the run, the control of the run, and how the horse is working. So you put the 26, the 70, and the 4, it all adds up to a possible score of 100 points.
And Jim, in the camp, if I could just ask you in the camp, if the competitor in the camp, if they happen to, lose the beast in the camp, or it goes forward and goes back into the mob, how does that all work?
Well, Angus, you're only allowed 2 losers back into the cattle. And if they lose 2 losers, you'll hear the stock whips go. There'll be no score.
And Tyrrell wines have been around since 1858, folks, blowing in the wind down there. So there you are, 1858. That's a long time, Jim.
Well, Angus, you'd nearly be remembered when they kicked off.
Not quite, but yes. You're so nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was the year I was born, 1958. Yes,
because, Angus, the older a bottle of wine gets, the better it gets.
Oh, you're so nice. You changed that so well. Thanks, Jim. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first competitor tonight will be Cliff Lyon. He's a grazier. He's going to be riding Have a Go Ugly Betty. It's side by Stanton Stud Barrister, out of the dam Rockstar. And it's a lovely bay mare. It's foaled in 2004, a stock horse mare. Its personality is fantastic. Its major wins, won a few open drafts, the latest being the Newcastle show draft 2 weeks ago. He's a great competitor. We certainly wish him well. And then following him will be Gavin White. And Gavin, he's a rural farm contractor. We'll let you know more about him very soon. But Jim, could you just explain to the people the left and the right-hand course? Now, why do they have a left-hand course sometimes? Why do they have a right-hand course?
Oh, well, Angus, most of the time it is a left-hand course, but there's a lot of places you go to in different parts of Australia that they might run more right-hand courses than left, and it's vice versa in New South Wales. It's a lot of times in New South Wales it's left-hand course, but tonight we're having a left-hand course. Last night we had a right-hand course. So it just depends on how the ground's situated, but we're very fortunate here at the Spotless Arena. We can run right or left-hand course.
Very good, thank you for that. Well, it's down to you for our first competitor, and we certainly wish him well. And ladies and gentlemen, our first competitor tonight, Cliff Lyons, riding Have a Go Ugly Betty.
So Cliff Lyon now from Long Flat He's about to make his selection. We move into round 4 of the World Championship Camp Draft, brought to you with the compliments of Tyrrell's Wines. So
And Jim,
Cliff
if they
Line.
go out in the course, we want people to get right behind them, don't we? So you can just,
certainly do.
yeah.
Okay, so have a go, Ugly Betty. And Cliff Line comes up to the face of the camp, calls for the gate, and steps out into the spotless arena. He comes around here now. It's a right-hand course. Round, and around, and things are looking pretty good for Have a Go, Ugly Betty and Cliff Line. And they turn around. They get 2 points for the first peg. They do the change. They take the second peg on the left. They come around now. He's got 2 out of 4 at the moment. And look at Have a Go, Ugly Betty, right around there on the beast shoulder there. Push the Angus steer right around the back of the 2 pegs. Now, come on, girls and boys, mums and dads. Can he wheel that beast around? And can he get it back around there towards the gate to get 4 out of 4? He's got 3 out of 4 at the moment. Can he line it up? Can he beat the clock? If things are looking pretty good. And there goes the whistles. And give him a nice round of applause. That is Cliff Line with Have a Go, Ugly Betty.
Fantastic drafting. And our next competitor is Gavin White, number 2. And Gavin White, he's a rural farm contractor. He's competing in camp drafting since the age of 8. He competed at Sydney Royal Show 2010, 2014, 5th in the 2014 World Championship Camp Draft. He's riding a horse called Vegas. It was side by Acres Destiny out of Valentine. Lovely chestnut stallion, foaled in 2009, back down to Jim.
And a score for Have a Go, Ugly Betty, ridden by Cliff Line, was 21 points for cutout, 56.5 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 80.5 points. 80.5 points for Cliff Line with riding Have a Go, Ugly Betty. So number 2 now, this is Gavin White from Dungowan with Vegas. Now he comes up the face of the camp. He does 1, 2, goes for another one down, and the beast is almost beating, but Vegas blocks him down the side of the camp. He steps out into the spotless arena, and it's a right-hand course tonight, and he's got himself a fast one, and he's going to head out across the spotless arena, and he'll go out of bounds, and there goes our judges' stock whips, and our judges, Dean Taylor and Stephen Wells.
Well, come on, New South Wales. Come on, Australia. Give Gavin White a nice round of applause. That's bad luck for him tonight. Our next competitor, our 3rd competitor tonight, will be James Keat, and affectionately known as Keaty. He's a stockman. He's been camp drafting since 12 years of age. 1999, the associate in the finals, I think it's the Cuba finals, in the Warwick Gold Cup as well, 2013, wins of the Warwick Gold Cup. And also the Fashion is a 3rd generation open horse by his father, has owned and drafted for the dam on the other side too. So this is Barragunda Oaks Fashion, side by Bronze Oaks at a Barragunda Classic. It's a lovely black mare, foaled in 2001. And the sire is Doc's Freckles Oak. The dam is by Crestwood, Rivoli, All Talk. Back to Jim.
Gavin White with Vegas scored 17.5 points. 17.5 points for Gavin White with Vegas. Okay, we go with James Keat now from Glenrock Station with Fashion and out into the spotless arena. And the wonderful Australian stock horse mare and around the first peg with the Black Bally Angus crossed here. And look at Fashion right up on the beast shoulder. Camp drafting comes around the first peg now. Now James Keat just says, I'll just sit down, wait a little bit. He presses the buttons and Fashion says, let's go, and tighten things up around the second peg. And he gives her a bit of a nudge there as well. And she says, that's okay. Now he just lines the beast up. He says, that's a little bit of a bump. Now comes around now. Come on, girls and boys, mums and dads, can we wind them all up? Can he get it around? Can he wheel it? He goes push. Look at Fashion right up on the beast shoulder. It's looking pretty good for James Keat and Fashion. And Fashion, she's in the right fashion this evening. That was James Keat. And won't be too long, we'll have a score coming through you there for James Keat with Fashion.
Hey, come on, Australia. Put your hands together. That's great camp drafting tonight. Our next competitor, number 4, will be Mark Palmer, affectionately known as Digger. He's a horse trainer. Competed at Sydney Royal in radio and camp drafting, won the family draft at Sydney on 4 occasions, 2005, 2012, 2014, the World Championship draft. He's riding Alcondo. Alcondo is side by Codman, a lovely chestnut stallion, and a lot of breeding in this horse. So it's back down to Jim.
Okay, a score now for James Keat with Fashion was 22 points for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 87.5 points. 87.5 points for Fashion, ridden by James Keat. And we move on now to Mark Palmer, number 4 in round 4 of the Tyrrell's World Championship Camp Draft with El Condo. the 2014 winners of the World Championship Camp Draft, and here they are now in 2015 in round 4 as El Condo and Mark Palmer comes up to the face of the camp. They do 2, they do 3, and calls for the gate on the 4th turn, and he takes him back across the yard as well, and here's El Condo ridden by Mark Palmer from Crindai, New South Wales, and around the first peg. And have a look here, and look at the Australian stock horse stallion El Condo now, and the Angus Black Ball is here. He come around the first peg, he's going to touch the buttons. Oh, look here, there's a champagne camp drafting here. El Condo, Mark Palmer, he says, we'll just hit and go. El Condo says, leave the footwork to me. You just look at the pegs and make sure we're on track. And here's El Condo and Mark Palmer. Can they, come on, girls and boys, mums and dads, get those hands out, warm them up. Can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it? It's looking good. Oh, how's it go again? Oh, well, it was so good. How about a big round of applause for El Condo and Mark Palmer?
Oh, that's bad luck, isn't it? Yeah, well, Jim will get a score for him very soon, but our next competitor, he'll be the 5th competitor tonight, will be Glenn Peterson, riding Gibbs Witness. And he's affectionately known as Sticks. He's a livestock buyer. Won and placed in a few drafts in the Central West, more than a few, I can assure you. Runner-up in open rides, the ABCRA 2014. And he'd like to be the best he can possibly be. Gibbs Witness is signed by Doc's Witness. Out of the dam is CG's Tyler, a lovely bay gelding foaled in 2000. And Witness is out of Captain Jack Mayer by Doc's Witness and is back down to Jim.
Okay, now score for Mark Palmer riding El Condo was 21 points for cutout, 59 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 83 points. 83 points for El Condo, ridden by Mark Palmer.
I'll tell you what, Jim Cullinan, you know, when Jim went, oh, like all the people when they just knocked that peg down over there. In fact, that's what happens back at Scone when he you know, he's up there as a stock and station agent, and they love him up there. You know, there's no one like Jimmy Cullinan up in the Scone district of New South Wales, and Jim's a great bloke. And Jim, for many years, has been presenting the Australian Stock Horse wonderful national championships too, up at Tamworth at ALEC, and also at Scone and many other venues. We've had the great pleasure of working together, my wife Vicky and I, with Jim. And he's just, we call him the gentle giant. You know, you can see why. He's only 4'6" tall, but he's a nice fella. So it's back down to Jim.
Okay, now we go with number 5, Glenn Peterson from Cara with Gibbs Witness. Currently sitting in the 3rd position on the overall scoreboard. And Glenn Peterson from Cara. He brings the Witness. He says, let's come up. We'll take another couple. He does 3 and 4. He calls for the gate. Oh, he gets a tricky turn there on the last one. As he steps back and blocks up down the fence and out into the spotless arena they come out. Glenn Peterson from Cara, New South Wales with Gibbs Witness, and around the first peg. And the cattle are running beautiful as the temperature drops down here in the spotless arena. Around the first peg, they've got 2 out of 4 at the moment for the first peg. They do the changeover, and look at Gibbs Witness says, no, we'll just tighten things up, and things are looking pretty good here for Glenn Peterson and Gibbs Witness. Around the second peg, they've got 3 out of 4. Now, can they do it? They're going to make it pretty hard and fast. Gibbs Witness and Glenn Peterson is looking pretty good. Give him a big round of applause. He'll be very, very pleased with that. Glenn Peterson from Cara, he'll end up with 4 out of 4 for the course. It's in the hands of our judges, Dean Taylor and Stephen Wells.
Oh, what a great round. Come on, Australia, put your hands together. Give him a big, big round of applause. That's a super round. As we introduce you now to number 6 is Nigel Cable riding Chevron Ivory. Now, girls and boys, mums and dads, Ivory is the highest competition earning camp draft horse in history. He won over $260,000 in prize money, $260,000, and drafting for over 35 years as Nigel Cable, first drafted at Sydney Royal Show 30 years ago. Chevron Ivory is side by Lindsay out of the dam Chevron Ebony, a lovely black stallion, an Australian stock horse, and we certainly won the Warwick Gold Cup. We was first in the Canning Downs, second at Paradise Lagoons up in Rockhampton. He's had a super career, so it's down to Jim.
Okay, now a score for Glenn Peterson with Gibbs Witness. It was 19 points for cutout, 63.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 86.5 points. 86.5 points for Gibbs Witness, ridden by Glenn Peterson. And now we go with number 6 in the draw, Chevron Ivory, ridden by Nigel Cable. as he steps out now into the spotless arena. And here he is, the great Australian stock horse stallion, Chevron Ivory, with Nigel Cable, and around the first peg they come. Now, what can they do with it now? He got him in the right bend. He comes around now. Chevron Ivory says, let's tighten it up, and they go hard and fast around the second. Chevron Ivory, Nigel Cable, now the overall leader at this stage of the World Championship Camp Draft. And can they get it around and get 4 out of 4? They've got 3 out of 4 at the moment. Come on, girls and boys, if he puts it down, how about a real big roar? It's looking pretty good. Come on, girls and boys, can we hear you? Nigel Cable and Chevron Ivory. Another great round there here in the World Championship Camp Draft. And once again, many thanks to the Elliston Pastoral Company Proprietary Limited, to the Packer family and the management up there, Robert Teague and Scott Mitchell and staff. Magnificent line of cattle, and we thank them very, very much.
And as Nigel comes back, come on, Australia, put your hands together. What a great horseman. What a magnificent stallion. What a great run. We present now Wade Miles. Wade's number 7 in the camp, riding Greenvale Request. He's been competing in camp drafting since he was 8 years of age, the winner of the 2014 Hunter's Own, the ABCRA most successful rider, 2014 Australian Champion ABCRA Maiden Horse of the Year. Greenvale Request, side by Adios Reflect out of Bates Review. A lovely black mare down to Jim.
Okay, a score for Nigel Cable with Chevron Ivory was 18 points for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 84.5 points. 84.5 points for Chevron Ivory, ridden by Nigel Cable. And we go with number 7 now, Wade Miles from Rookel, New South Wales, with Request, and around the second peg they come, and they tighten it right up around the second peg. Now Wade Miles, here we go now with Quest. And Request steps right up and gives the steer a little bit of a push. That's camp drafting there, and comes around, and can he line it up? Come on, boys and girls, mums and dads, ladies and gents, come on. It's looking pretty good. That was Wade Miles with Request, and it'll up with 4 out of 4 for the course.
What unbelievable camp drafting here tonight. It really is. And our next to go into the camp will be number 8, Lachlan Maxwell, and he's riding Spookinator. And Lachlan Maxwell, he's self-employed. He started camp drafting at 17 years of age. The ABCRA Northwest Open rider 5 times, placed twice at the Warwick Gold Cup. The ABCRA Aggregate Open Horse National Final, competed at Sydney Royal Show 4 years straight. And he's riding this lovely horse that's side by Catskills out of Acres Destiny Mare. Lovely Bay Gelding, polled in 2007. And she's quiet, and also owned by the son Edward. So back down to Jim.
Okay, a score now for Wade Miles with Request. 21 points for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 86.5 points. 86.5 points for Request, ridden by Wade Miles. On now to number 8 in the draw, Lockie Maxwell from Moon End Flat with Spookinator. And they step out in the spotless arena with the Angus steer, and Spookinator says, come on now, Lockie, let's go. Things are looking pretty good here for Spookinator. And Lockie Maxwell, around the first peg they come. They just sit back, they let the steer run on a little. He's getting ready to line up the second peg. They've got 2 out of 4 at the moment. Oh, and the steer is just took shy there at the second peg. And he'll get that second attempt, so they're wrapping him back around and try and get that second peg. So he comes back around now, Lockie Maxwell. Now he's about to hit the button there on Spookinator, comes around, now he does the crossover, he gets 3 out of 4 for the course. Will he have time to get to the gate? It's looking pretty good. Spookinator, Lockie Maxwell, and we'll leave that one in the hands of the judge. Well, we'll just see what the judges think about the time. But come on, girls and boys, mums and dads, how about a big round of applause there for Lockie Maxwell riding Spookinator.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, you know, it's all for the girls as well as the guys. We introduce you now to Simone Harvey, and Simone's a teacher at Tokol College for the horse course, been competing since 13 years of age. The winner of the ABCRA Australian Lady Rider title 5 times in 2005, right through to 2014. Runner-up in the ABCRA Lady Rider from 2007, 8 and 10. The horse he's riding is Freckles Ivory. Is side by Chevron Ivory out of Poco's Little Freckles, a lovely bay mare, foaled in 2007. It's back down to Jim.
Okay, a score now for Lockie Maxwell, Spookinator, 21 for cutout, 54 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 79 points. 79 points for Spookinator, ridden by Lockie Maxwell. As we move on now to competitor number 9, Freckles Ivory with Simone Harvey. And just a little bit of bad luck there as the beast just set up on the first peg for Simone. And he's going to do the same again. But give her a nice big round of applause, the only lady camp draft in the World Championship camp draft, Simone Harvey with Freckles Ivory.
And also for the girls and boys, Jim, just to let them know that she was terrified of horses as a young girl, did not canter until 10 years of age, and then she began drafting at 13 years of age. So put your hands together for Simone Harvey. Come on, give her a big round of applause. Well done. Introducing now Laurie Argue, and he's riding Carmelina. Laurie Argue, a stock agent, auctioneer. He also had great success at the ABCRA National Finals every year since he was 9 years of age, and placed 5th at Sydney Royal, the World Championship draft in 2013, 3rd in 2014. Laurie works for the family agency at Kempsey Stock and Land, and eventually hopes to take over the family business. He's riding Camelira, side by Hostile, imported out of Oaks Barania, and it's back down to Jim.
Okay, a cutout score there for Freckles Ivory, ridden by Simone Harvey. 22 points for Simone Harvey with Freckles Ivory. 22 points. As we go now with number 10, Laurie Argue from Kempsey with Carmelina, and around the first peg, and he says, well, come on, Carmelina, let's go now. Around the second peg, and they tighten things up around here. Laurie Argue with Carmelina from Kempsey on the north coast. Now, come on, girls and boys, we might be able, oh, the steer's got different ideas. He says, I know where home is. He said, I want to head back towards Elliston. So just a little bit of bad luck there for Laurie Argue with Carmelina, but give you a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Things were looking so good, but it just, the stamp has fell off the letter before it got to the post office.
Well, introducing you now to one of Australia's best is Troy Palmer. He's a contract muster, a horse trainer, competed at Sydney Royal for the last 15 years, won the World Championship 2003, 2013, placed 9 times, won the 17 of the ABCRA titles, including 4 open rides as well. He's riding Impressive Destiny, an Impressive Destiny side by Acres Destiny out of Binia Impression, a lovely black stallion foaled in 2001, dual registered Australian stock horse, quarter horse, and he's covered 87 mares at start in 2014 and 2015. And it's back down to Jim Cullinan.
Okay, now cutout score for Laurie Argue with Carmelina was 21 points. 21 points for Carmelina, ridden by Laurie Argue. Okay, number 11 now, Benny Impressive Destiny, Troy Palmer from Coolah. They've been there, done it all as well, and he comes up the face of the camp here in round 4 of the Tyrrell's World Championship camp draft. He calls for the gate. And Benny Impressive Destiny steps out into the spotless arena, and he says, come on, Troy, we're going to try and catch up today. And look at Benny Impressive Destiny. He tightens it up around the first peg. Things are looking very good here with the Angus Cross steer and the wonderful black Australian stock horse stallion. Oh, he hasn't run on like Troy thought he was going to. And I thought he was going to run on them himself, but all of a sudden he just dug the toes in and pulled up. Now he's going to loosen up and run on a little bit further. Now Benny Impressive Destiny, Troy Palmer, around the second peg they come now. Now he's just going to let him sit. He's going to tighten it up now and go straight to the gate. Come on, girls and boys, mums and dads, has he got time? Has he got time? It's looking good. That's Benny Impressive Destiny and Troy Palmer.
Hey, come on, Australia. What a great round. Put your hands together for Troy Palmer. That's a great round of camp drafting. We introduce now number 12, Warwick Lawrence, riding Cedar Downs Mini Max. And Warwick Lawrence, he's a practical horse course teacher at Tokel Ag College, camp drafting since 12 years of age. 2014 National Camp Draft Council Champion Rider, 2009 most successful rider of the ABCRA, 2009 winner of the Sydney Royal World Championship Draft. Cedar Downs Mini Max is side by Conductor out of Turling's Alpine. Lovely bay mare, foaled in 2003, an Australian stock horse, a beautiful nature, and had great success at the Sydney Royal Easter Show this year. So it's back down to Jim.
Okay, now score for Troy Palmer and Benny Impressive Destiny was 23 for cutout. 55 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 82 points. 82 points for Benny Impressive Destiny, ridden by Troy Palmer. And Warwick Lawrence now from Roadbrook with Mini Mac. And he's got the beast that's gone straight out around the corner of the camp. But give me a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of bad luck for Mini Max, ridden by Warwick Lawrence.
Well, introducing now number 13 will be Alan Young, riding Acres Liberty Bow. And he's a horse breeder and a trainer, been camp drafting since the age of 15. Competed at Sydney Royal on 10 occasions. The 2009 ABCRA Open Rider runner-up. ABCRA National 7 times in the qualified every year since. And also Acres Liberty Bow is side by Acres Destiny out of Jesse's Liberty Bell. And it's Buckskin Stallion, foaled in 1998. A dual registered Australian quarter horse and stock horse, very quiet. And haven't they had some great wins and success? So we wish him well. Back down to Jim.
Okay, now the score for Warwick Lawrence and Mini Max was 21 points. 21 points for Minimax, ridden by Warwick Lawrence. As we move on now to number 13 in round 4 of the World Championship Camp Drafts, brought to you with the compliments of Tyrrell's Wines, Alan Young with Acres Liberty Bow. They make their selection, they come to the face of the camp. They're going to put on the big points here. Comes up, calls for the gate, he steps out into the spotless arena. Acres, Liberty Bow and Alan Young around the first peg. And look at Camp Drafting. Oh, Acres, Liberty Bow straight up onto the beach shoulders. Sits off now. He says, I've just done the good bit of work there now. He says, I'll let him run. Alan Young now with Acres, Liberty Bow around the second peg. Acres, Liberty Bow says, leave the footwork to me, Alan. You just do the touch of the buttons on the dashboard. And look here, Acres, Liberty Bow, Alan Young. Come on, girls and boys, this is going to be magnificent. If it comes off, it's looking very good. Very good. Alan Young with Acres, Liberty Bow. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give you a big round of applause. And we'll have a score for you very shortly.
And we introduce now entered 14, the 14th competitor tonight. And the final competitor is Neil Faint riding Turner Stud Flirt. Neil Faint, known as Fainty, he works in the sale yard assistant, a horse trainer at Texas Star Quarter Horses, open rider winner of many maidens, novice open and open for open camp drafts. In 2010, he was placed at Paradise Lagoon. He, in fact, equaled third. And he's riding Turner Stud Flirt. It's side by Turner Stud Bobby out of the Dam Oakvale Park theme. A lovely grey mare foaled in 2001. And Flirt's grandsire was Kempton Park Agile by Cecil Bruce. The dam line includes Rivoli Ray, Tiger Ray and Radium. All the bloodlines of the foundation of the Australian stock horse. And Jimmy Cullinan, it's back down to you, my friend.
Okay, and a score for Alan Young with Acres Liberty Bow was 23 points for cutout, 63.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 90.5 points. 90.5 points for Acres Liberty Bow, ridden by Alan Young.
Hey, put your hands together. That's the highest score tonight, the best score tonight. Give me a nice big round of applause.
As we now go on to the final competitor, number 14 in the draw for round 4 of the World Championship Camp Draft. This is Neil Faint from Tamworth with Turner's Stud Flirt, the grey mare, and they've got the Angus crossed here and comes out and he's just going to sit up now. He'll get that second a chance to pick him up and take him back around towards the first peg. And he says, no, I'm not going to catch the big scores tonight, so I'm not going to keep on running him around here in the spotless arena. So there'll be a cutout score there only for Neil Faint and Turner's Stud Flirt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, would you please put your hands together for Tyrrell's Wines? Come on and give our magnificent stockmen and women a big Australian round of applause. Come on, Australia, you do them proud.
So a cutout score there now for Neil Faint with Turner Stud Flirt of 22 points. 22 points for Turner Stud Flirt, ridden by Neil Faint.
Well, Jimmy, that's camp drafting at its best tonight, isn't it?
Some magnificent camp drafting there tonight, Angus. Some great scores. And once again, many thanks to the wonderful line of cattle, to Elliston Pastoral Company Proprietary Limited, to the Packer family, and to the management up there, Robert Teague, Scott Mitchell and the staff. They've been handpicked and put away for this special job for the Tyrrell's World Championship Camp Draft here at the 2015 Sydney Royal Easter Show.
And ladies and gentlemen, how about a special round of applause for Simone Harvey. Come on. Simone's the only lady competing against all the guys down there tonight. Well done, Simone. Congratulations. And Jim will have the presentation very soon for you. Thank you very much to also the past president of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales, Councillor Rob Vickery, for being down there tonight, Mr. Dick Adams, Mr. Peter Eggleton, and I think we had many other people, Chris Eggleton, so to all the stewards, and Kenny Cameron down there too. We say a very special thank you to them all. And we'll cross back down to Jim Cullinan. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Angus. Well, Champagne Camp Drafting, the magnificent line of the Angus cross steers.
And Jimmy, please save me a little bit of Tyrrell's wine, will you please?
Only a little bit, Angus. Well, with one of our stewards now, Ken Cameron, doing the presentation to Alan Young, to Acres Liberty Bow. Well, Alan, congratulations. Round 4 Championship Camp Draft. We're at the half mark. This is a time to make things count and not let any competitors get away too far, Alan. Well done.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks to the crowd, everyone. Yeah, it was the night we had to change things, and yeah, the pressure was on a bit.
The old horse is in form, and a bit like a bottle of water yourself, Alan. The older you get, the better the combination gets.
I'm no older than you, Jim, so yeah, I guess so. The horses still keep going. He's a pleasure to ride and pleasure to have here.
Alan, just get away from the camp draft side of things. What other interests you got besides camp drafting?
Oh, well, camp drafting, riding horses and training horses and teaching my little nieces to do the same. And they're having a great lot of joy, especially on these horses, Bo and the horses by him. Yeah, I'm real proud of them.
And the good thing about the camp drafting family, everybody gets in, helps one another, whether there's little kids starting off or whatever. And that's the good thing about you top competitors. You're always there to give a hand or give a little bit of advice.
Yeah, that's for sure, Jim. Anyone that ever wants a bit of a hand, you know, there's not a camp drafter here or on any ground that wouldn't help someone that come up and ask them to. And it's a real privilege to be asked, and it's a privilege to give people a hand.
Thank you, Alan, and all the best for the remaining 2 rounds, and all the best over the camp draft here in the Royal Easter Show.
Thanks very much, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Angus. So they are the winner and place getters of round 4 of the Tyrrell's World Championship Camp Draft.
Thanks very much, Jim Cullen. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, could you put your hands together for Jim Cullen? Come on. And all the magnificent camp drafts tonight. Jim, would you like to introduce them one more time?
Okay, so the winners of round 4, Alan Young with Acres Liberty Bow takes out first place. Second place goes to James Keat from Glenrock with Fashion. Equal third, Glenn Peterson from Cowra and Wade Miles from Rookel with Request. They equal third and fourth. So thank you very much, Angus Lane, and till round 5 tomorrow evening, we'll leave you here from the Spotless Arena.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Jim. And ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for all the wonderful stewards out there too. Come on, give them a big round of applause. You know, they donate their services, their time for nothing. So you salute them tonight, the wonderful volunteers.